What's the
It's gonna
story
be
you
a
want to
lot.
tell?
I want to tell everything. It is when I tell you the most horrendous, disgusting.
Everything that's the story you need to say. I need to tell each. It is the point at which I let you know the most ridiculously horrible, nauseating, it smell like sewer water legends are made, and stars are framed in the sparkling universe of music. Yet there is a revolting underside of trickery and misuse. The business has a hazier side that includes a portion of its most notable people, including as Beam J. Diddy and the skilled Ashan, in spite of its standing as a wellspring of riches and excellence. The tale of a teen virtuoso made up for lost time, in a perplexing trap of business interests, begins to take structure and account that looks to uncover the alarming bits of insight of the extortion and double dealing that happen in the background of accomplishment, and VIP. The story opens with an energetic, dynamic Ashanti whose singing grabs the eye of record marks who meticulously assess her engaging quality and expertise. Her alleged abuse took a more obscure turn when it was uncovered that she had laid down with maker Irv Gotti, who is for the most part to fault for her initial proficient achievement. Ashanti's ascent to popularity in the music business was immediately frustrated by people like as the famous business visionary Diddy and Beam J, who was taunted for being a phony corn star. And VIP. Can they suggest a dim plan, as preposterous it might appear to be, in which Diddy and Beam J participated in Ashanti harm, and debasing the double dealing affects relational associations notwithstanding proficient administration. Ashanti shared an astonishing account about how a maker suggested that they clean up together. These accounts distort the nonsensical requests and assumptions that hopeful craftsmen, particularly ladies, face on their mission for distinction past the dinky oceans of abuse. We enter the dubious spaces of tune burglary and vocation. Damage. The plot, which depicts desire blended in with unscrupulousness, entwines the existences of J.L. Ashanti and huge industry figures like Ike Diddy and Irv Gotti. The melody "I'm Genuine," which has been the subject of a few claims and dissents, has been at the focal point of the contention. Ashanti, whose voice impeccably epitomized the time, became entrapped in a tangled snare of business politic. I Did Anyway sent her a record demo that was quite a while in the past. In a 2014 meeting, Ashanti uncovered that she had composed the melody she had initially implied for herself, yet when she saw that Jew had taken responsibility for voice in innovative inheritance, she felt hoodwinked anyway. Ashanti discussed her disappointment with Irv by saying, "You realize I needed that record," which impeccably caught her misery at having her work erroneously credited to another person. The story acquires extra help from Joel's declaration that she was taken part in the track's allocation any tune, as well as one that caused debate, and about which Mariah Carey had first discussed adding to the soundtrack of her film Sparkle. Mariah's 2020 account adds to our understanding of this comp. Lex Web Sony rushed to get an agreement for one more female vocalist on their name, whose name I don't be aware after hearing my new melody, which utilizes a similar example I used during the second presentation. Joel purportedly helped Tommy model Mariah's ex and the president of Sony Music at the time in taking the firework test for the melody "I'm Genuine." And how did J. Rule factor into this? He should work with Mariah, yet it appears to be that Diddy guided him toward Jlo's melody. Diddy's previous guardian uncovered one more delicate component of this unpredictable situation. It suggested a tight fellowship among Diddy and J. Rule. He related a story that proposed a degree of commonality past expert contacts, following that the cases proceed with one more performer ensnared in this web. Shani Moore accused Diddy of taking tunes for Joe's benefit. She said that Jew's hit tune, "Assuming That You Had My Adoration," was made utilizing a piece of the tune made explicitly for her. The upsetting picture that is painted by this example of corporate interest and apportionment is the degree individuals would go to additional their own or their ACE/GS professions. These records, particularly the ones including Jlo, underscore a pattern in which strong financial specialists have critical effect on professions, some of the time in quarrelsome ways. The extra records show that J. Lo's quiet about Diddy's latest charges recommend that the business has many-sided, perhaps PR-less ties. When a CNN call got down in 2021, she sang the tune "I'm Genuine," which exploded the conversation. It was a snapshot of change in outlook, uncovering verifiable treacheries and lighting new discussions, especially among the more youthful TikTok clients. Gaining this sort of standing is pivotal, especially in the contemporary existence where everything is by all accounts a distraction. Incidentally, Ashanti underlined the need of veritable acknowledgement in a field that is habitually defaced by untrustworthiness and misrepresentations, and in this manner, the narrative of I'm genuine starts a clarification of the pressure that exists between innovative honesty, foul play, and desire. The story reveals insight into the bigger underlying issues that plague the music business we find. An underhanded and degenerate society in which Ashanti's abuse and vocation harm are nevertheless the starting. The account currently moves to a bigger, more foundational issue. It is guaranteed that arrest and rape are unavoidable and have even affected notable people. This industry's criminal components reach out past lost or taken tunes and demolish lives. Connections and sexual blessings are supposed to be used as cash for profession progress. In this domain of influence, fights accounts from this multifaceted organization's surface, giving a dumbfounding portrayal of the degree. Individuals will go to ponder Ashanti's most memorable vocation claims. As per Andy Kellman's book, she defeated various hindrances as well as accomplishing a few prominent triumphs, even despite the fact that she has won a few honors, including a Grammy, and is unbelievably gifted. A hazier origin story is arising. A theoretical visually impaired thing claims that Ashanti's profession was obliterated by upsetting experience makers. Regardless of the pity of information, this finding is viable with the disturbing modern act of abuse. Extra proof supporting these cases comes from Ashanti's own comments made in December 2022 during her appearance on the Morning Meal Club. A maker who had worked with her on 2 collections proposed they clean up together. She said, telling an unnerving story. The earnestness of this allegation causes to notice what is by all accounts a far and wide ruthless mindset in the business. The story of Ashanti's difficulties in the business additionally features the more extensive issue of youngsters being stage overseen by rich notable people. However hypothetical in nature the contentions may in the visually impaired thing insinuate a frightening reality where youthful craftsmen are deserted and utilized in a hard quest for influence and control. The consideration of hotshots, for example, Beam J and Diddy, in these accounts effectively facilitates muddle the generally befuddling and tangled domain of music, business, governmental issues. Set yourself up for the most significant level of accomplishment that is conceivable. It is valid as a matter of fact. Ashanti's unimaginable profession in the music business is an interwoven of sad mishaps and elevating triumphs that impeccably encapsulate diligence and tirelessness. Charges and first-hand records have uncovered her initial proficient foundation of double dealing and control, raising questions about her initial victories in the business, the disrupting claims of being nagged by influential people, and the unforeseen proposal from a maker clue to the not great components of her ascent to distinction, in spite of being very disturbing. These occasions didn't characterize her fairly. They prepared for her astonishing, extreme, and tenacious vocation. When we get to 2023, Ashan's life has obviously modified. She has gone far from those terrifying starting points to the level of her bliss and vocation accomplishment. After her separation with Nelly, she declared that she was expecting her most memorable kid, flagging a cheerful and satisfied time in her own life. She has gotten a few expert distinctions that address her continuous effect in the music and media outlets, and her arranged enlistment into the Hollywood stroll of popularity is only one of them. Separated from considering the eminence of her previous triumphs, Ashanti has been effectively fabricating her future in 2023 by taking on unsafe ventures and searching for new, inventive possibilities. The craftsman is preparing for various fascinating undertakings. For example, composing and distributing a book, delivering a narrative, and featuring a component movie. These tasks her versatility and ability to return in a work setting. Notwithstanding his creative undertakings, Ashanti worked in innovation. She uncovered a coordinated effort with Web3 organization EQ Trade, whose objective is to utilize blockchain innovation to further develop craftsman fan association. She is the primary individual of color to possess this situation in a Web3 firm because of her fellow benefactors' transport, displaying her devotion and imaginative energy. Admirers began pointing out Ashanti's initial blunders in her vocation, yet they likewise offered thanks for her constant nature. If so, Ashanti's capacity to chuckle and smile at a similar age is very momentous. Perhaps it's essentially that awkward. The music business is unpleasant. Consider the manners by which other music makers have Manhandled young ladies in elective perspective considers Ashanti's expert way considering these cases as per a comment. If so, it checks out why Ashanti is rising again, while apparently another person is falling. These remarks show how heartily Ashanti's account has been gotten by her allies. Her troublesome excursion is an account of individual misery and genuinization of the more concerning issues paying the piper business both her admirers and spectators the same keep on lighting.